This video shows how to convert a non-refrigerated EZ cooler into a hands-free unit using the 10000005921 Retrofit kit. Prior to installing, please read the installation manual and all warning labels. At any time during installation, you can refer to the instructions for additional details. Here are the tools you'll need. Put on gloves and safety glasses before you begin. Remove the lower wrapper of the cooler by removing the 4 screws using your 5/16 nut driver. Turn off water to the cooler. Then remove water pressure by pressing on any of the cooler push bars until no water comes out of the bubbler. Unplug the water cooler. Remove the P-trap from the cooler drain. Remove the 2 screws on both sides of the upper shroud using your Torx bit or Allen wrench. Lift the basin shroud assembly, tilting it toward the front of the water cooler. Use a black marker to mark the water line where it enters the solenoid. This will help with water line reinsertion later. Remove the water line from the solenoid. Have a bucket ready to catch any water from the solenoid. Unplug the 2 switch wires, one on the solenoid and one on the power cord. Once both wires are unplugged, lift the assembly completely off the cooler. Turn the shroud assembly over on a table so that it sits on the basin. If this is a single non-refrigerated cooler, locate the serial number on the data label and write it in permanent marker on the blank label located on the bottom of the new shroud. If this is the non-refrigerated side of a bi-level cooler, the serial number will be on the refrigerated cooler and can remain there. Remove the basin from the shroud by unscrewing all 4 screws using the Torx bit or Allen wrench. If your shroud has a regulator installed, it will also need to be removed. Remove the rubber boot with the drain by sliding it up off the 3 pins holding it to the shroud. Place the boot with the drain on the 3 pins of the new shroud. Press down completely so it sits flat. Place the new shroud on the basin and attach it using the screws you just removed. If a regulator was removed from the old shroud, it will need to be inserted into the new shroud. Remove the power cord ground connection on the frame using the 1/4-inch nut driver. Keep this screw handy because you will need it to connect the ground wire on the new power cord. Using pliers, squeeze the strain relief on the power cord and pull down to remove the cord from the bracket. Remove the remaining wire from the solenoid and discard the old power cord. Measure 23 inches from the plug end of the power cord and place the strain relief on the cord at that point. Squeeze the strain relief and place it in the bracket slot from which the old power cord was removed. Push up until it locks into place. Put the ground screw in the ring terminal on the green ground wire of the power cord. Tighten the screw back into the frame where the old ground wire was connected. Tighten the screw so that the terminal won't turn. To make sure the grounding connection is secure, use your multimeter to check for continuity. Place one probe on the round connector of the plug and the other probe on the frame. Connect both female connections on the power cord to both open terminals on the solenoid. It doesn't matter which connector goes on which terminal. If the connections won't reach, spread the wire apart to gain length. Place the new basin shroud assembly onto the cooler frame and connect the sensor wires by plugging the connector from the sensor to the connector on the power cord. Then connect the water line to the solenoid. Replace the 4 screws to secure the new basin shroud to the frame. Reconnect the drain lines. Remove the plastic covering the sensor bar. Turn on the water and plug the cooler back in. Place a cup over the bubbler and activate the sensor. Run water until all air is removed from the system and there's a steady stream of water coming from the bubbler. Check for any water leaks and fix as needed. Place the lower wrapper on the cooler and tighten the 4 screws. Congratulations! You've installed a hands-free sensor to make your non-refrigerated cooler more hygienic.